Good morning. Hello children. Welcome to the next online class of class 7 and the chapter name is Our Environment. Children, we have just come to the end of this chapter. Okay, today I will discuss about once again about ecosystem, human made environment and also the summary of the chapter. Children, last class I was discussing about ecosystem. What is ecosystem? Ecosystem is the interaction of living organisms with one another and also with physical and chemical environment in which they live, and it leads to transfer of energy. Children, ecosystem means a system in which there is an interaction of living organisms with one another, with the physical and chemical environment, and also it leads to transfer of energy. Children, living organisms, they used to interact with one another or not? The cow, the human being. I have told you the example, the cow provide the milk to the human beings, and human beings, they provide different crops to feed them. Yes or not? So interaction of living organism is taking place in the environment and also with the physical environment. What do you mean by physical environment? See, the food we eat as a physical environment. Chemical environment, the water we drink, the air we breathe is the interaction of physical and chemical environment. Human beings, they take food to eat, they could take water to drink, they take air to breathe. So these they interact this living organisms also they interact with the physical and chemical environment, and also the energy which is present in the food. Now it goes to the living beings. After the suppose I eat the chapati, which is a food. So what happened? The energy which is there in chapati, like carbohydrates, it is there in chapati. It provides energy. It goes into my stomach, and this it provides energy to my body. So it leads to transfer of energy. Understood the ecosystem? Ecosystem means the system in which there is an interaction of living organisms with one another, with physical and chemical environment in which they live, and also it leads to transfer of energy. See children, I have also told you different places we find different type of animals. These camel, take the example of camel. Camel has been found in desert. Why? Because camel can survive without water for many days. They adapt themselves according to their habitat in which they live. But if we bring polar bears to this desert, can this polar bear survive without water? Can this polar bear survive in the desert? No. Polar bears live in the cold climates. So we have also read in the last class that different organisms live in different type of environment. Human being also. Take the case of human being. What happens? In Orissa, these people, take that example of Orissa. People prefer rice. People prefer this fish. People wear woolen clothes. But in the area of Ladakh, are the people are wearing cotton clothes? They are wearing woolen clothes because that climate is very cold. So people have also adapted according to the environment in which they live. Yes or no? So children, as camel can live in desert, and polar bears can live in cold areas. In desert what happened? Due to the very hot climate and also very less rainfall, very less vegetation used to grow. But the area where there is heavy rainfall or this evergreen forest, take the example of Kerala, different type of vegetation used to grow because rainfall is also there in plenty amount. Yes or no? So different type of vegetations are there in different type of climate. Yes or no? So these differences are there among the living things also. They adapt according to the environment. They adapt the features according to the environment. Means they have different features. Yes or no? Living things, what happened? This is because they have their own typical habitat in which they live. So these desert forms an ecosystem. Why? Different animals, different vegetation grows in desert if we compare from the cold areas or from the rainfall areas like from Kerala. Kerala, different vegetations are growing due to the difference of climate, and so they forms different ecosystem. Desert is one ecosystem, pond is one ecosystem, lake is one ecosystem. These are ecosystem. Ecosystem means what? Interaction of living organisms with one another and with the physical and chemical environment. So see, they form different ecosystem, and this ecosystem have no particular size. Okay, ecosystem can be large, ecosystem can be small. Okay, ecosystem by rainforest also can be an ecosystem. It has no particular size. Understood? Now we'll read about human-made environment. Children, I have told you the human being able to adapt themselves according to the environment. The environment which is human-made environment is that environment which is created by the activities of human being. Human-made environment is that environment which is created by human beings. The human beings, they used to modify the environment. Human beings, according to the needs, they used to modify the natural environment in which they live. They used to develop different type of things. See children, the difference between early men and modern men. Early men used to live in caves. Yes or no? Early men used to live in caves. But modern men, are they living in caves? No. This early men, they were eating the raw animals without cooking. But gradually, as the time passes, human beings, they modified the environment according to the needs. Human beings, they used to modify the environment in which they live. What happened? Human beings, previously they were living in caves. Their cultivation of crops were not taking place. Even they were carrying loads on their backside. They were carrying loads on their back. But gradually, as the time passes, human beings, they used to modify the environment according to the needs. When the fire was discovered, what happened? They started cooking the food. They started cooking the animals. Okay. After the culture seeds or sowing of seeds, this different crops were grown also, and they were keeping the crops for the future also. So the crops were stored also for the future use. Human being gradually used to modify the environment. Invention of wheel is also the discovery of early men, no doubt. After the discovery of wheel, what happened? Different transport system developed in the society, and human being used to modify the environment by the different transport activities. Polluted the environment also. Human being, they pollute the environment by the different transport facilities. What happened? Slowly and gradually, by the help of the technology, human being, they used to change the environment which they live in the past. See children, after the domestication of animals, what happened? They started carrying the loads on the animals rather than putting on the back of human being. Previously what happened? They were carrying the loads on their back. But after they started domesticating animals, they were carrying the loads on the animals. So gradually what we find, step by step, human beings used to change the environment in which they lived, because human wants are unlimited. It is due to the activities, the creation of human beings. The human environment is created like buildings, this bridges, these are made by human being or not? This bridges, buildings, industries, machines are all human made environment. Yes or no? This environment comes from the French word envoyer, which means neighborhood. This environment comes from the French word envoyer, which means neighborhood. Children, I am going to tell you the summary of the chapter now. From this, the chapter is finished. We are going to see the summary. Children, before starting the chapter, I will tell you the two important points. On 5th June, we used to celebrate the Environment Day. No doubt, we all know it. Environment comes from the French word envoyer, which means our surroundings. Okay, which means, neighborhood or surrounding. Okay, neighborhood. Environment means people, place, animals, things, all the things which are there in our surrounding constitute the environment. And without environment, our life is not possible. Environment comes from the French word. Environment comes from the French word envoyer, which means neighborhood. Without environment, our life is not possible. Okay? It is our immediate surrounding. This land, water, air, even the marker which I am holding is also the environment. Okay, but it is a human-made environment. Children, I have told you also the story. Ravi, that when he was coming to school after a long summer vacation, he found that the playground which was beside the school was not there. It was dug, and in place of that, the huge building was constructed. Then what happened? The principal or the head or the teacher told him that human beings, they used to modify the environment. Yes or no? Human beings, they are modifying the environment due to the needs, due to the limited needs of the human beings. Human beings, they are changing our environment. Okay, this also I have discussed. Now comes the component of environment. Components of environment consist of natural environment. Natural environment consists of land, water, air, living things. Land. Land is known as lithosphere. Land is lithosphere. The outermost solid layer of the earth is known as lithosphere. It comes from the word lithos, which means stone. Outermost solid layer of the earth is known as lithosphere and comes from the Greek word lithos, means stone. Okay, lithosphere is made up of rocks and minerals, and it is covered with thin layer of soil. We found many things in lithospheres. The coal, it is found from lithosphere. It is the layer of land. Lithosphere is the layer of land. Different type of landforms of lithospheres are mountain, plateau, plain, valley. Mountain, this is the shape of mountain. Plateau, this tabletop. Valley, between the two mountains. This is valley, plain area, your flatland. So different type of landforms consist of lithosphere like mountain, plateau, plain, valley, etc. Okay. Next comes this layer land, water. Water means hydrosphere. It is the layer of water. It comes from the word hydros, means water. This hydrosphere comes from the word hydrosphere. Greek word hydros means water. Okay, this is the layer of water. Different water bodies are oceans, lakes, rivers, seas. These are different water bodies. Without water, our life is not possible. Without water, our life is not possible. Earth is called as blue planet. Why? Because 71% of the earth is covered with water. Next layer of this natural environment. Then what do you mean by natural environment? The things which are derived from nature. The things which are derived from nature are natural environment. It consists of land, that is lithosphere. I have already told you. Hydrosphere, that is water. Water, 71% of the earth is covered with water, and earth is also called as blue planet. Our earth is also called as blue planet. Why? Because 71% of the earth is water. Next comes the layer that is air. Air we breathe. Okay, our earth is surrounded by, see, this is our earth. Okay, our earth is surrounded by blanket of air. It is known as atmosphere. This atmosphere protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. How? See, if you are standing here on the earth and sun rays are coming with the sun, what happened? This atmosphere acts as blanket of air and protect us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. Atmosphere, it is a very important layer. This gravitational force of the earth, prevents to holds the atmosphere. This gravitational force of the earth holds the atmosphere. Atmosphere is very important for our survival. So without land, children, can we live? No. Without water, can we live? No. Without air, can we live? No. For our survival, this lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere all are important. So the zone of contact which consists of living thing with zone of contact between the three layers like lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere is known as biosphere. That I have also discussed. For our survival, lithosphere is also important. Hydrosphere is also important. Atmosphere is also important. We cannot live without any of these layers. This also we have discussed. Okay, so the natural environment is lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere as well as living things. Understood? Next comes the ecosystem. A system in which interaction of living things take place with one another and with physical and chemical environment in which they live, which leads to transfer of energy is known as ecosystem. See children, I have already told you, human beings they used to interact with, or living things they used to interact with one another, like the interaction of cow and human beings. It took place. They take the help of physical environment, the food they eat. Chemical environment, the air they breathe. So they interact with physical and chemical environment. It leads to transfer of energy. How? The food we eat. What happens? The energy which is present in the food, it transfers in the body when we eat. So it leads to transfer of energy also. Understood? The ecosystem. So different living organisms have a typical way of adapting the habitat in which they live. Okay, if we send camel to the cold areas, it cannot survive. Yes, if we send this polar bear to the desert, it also cannot survive. So different living things have different type of environment, different vegetation also. So according to it, an ecosystem has no particular size. Okay, it may be large, it may be small. Pond ecosystem, desert ecosystem, lake ecosystem, even aquarium. It is the ecosystem, artificial ecosystem created by human being. Understood? Next class, I will tell you the summary of human-made environment. And also human environment, which is a socio-economic environment, socio-cultural environment created by human beings. Write down the homework. What is ecosystem? What is human-made environment? Next class, I will discuss the summary of human-made environment as well as will also start the new chapter of history. Thank you and have a nice day.